Your floor could be the only heating system your home ever needs. No vents, no ductwork, no cold spots, just warmth rising straight up from the ground beneath you. This isn't new technology. The Romans used it 2,000 years ago. Korean homes have used it for centuries, and now it's quietly becoming one of the smartest upgrades for small footprint living. If you're building small, going off-grid, or just tired of forced air heating drying out your home, this video is going to answer every question you have about radiant floors and polished concrete. Welcome back to Contain Your Life. Before we get into it, if planning your build feels overwhelming, the off-grid build planning checklist and the moving planner are both linked in the description below. Today, you're getting the full picture on radiant floor heating paired with polished concrete, how it works, what it costs, health benefits, climate fit, design options, maintenance, and what happens if something goes wrong. Radiant floor heating works by warming the floor itself instead of blowing hot air into a room. Heat rises evenly from the ground up, which means no cold spots and no drafts. The Korean ondol system channeled heat from a wood fire through stone flues under the floor. It kept homes warm through brutal winters using nothing but fire and airflow. The Roman hypocaust did something similar. Hot air moved through a space under a raised floor, heating the stone above it. Both systems prove this idea has always worked. There are two main systems today: electric radiant heat, which uses cables or mats embedded in the slab. Hydronic radiant heat uses tubing that circulates heated water through the floor. Electric systems are simpler to install, especially in smaller spaces or single rooms. The cables get secured to rebar or wire mesh, then the concrete gets poured right over top. Hydronic systems need a boiler, heat pump, or water heater to circulate the warm water. They cost more up front, but work well for heating an entire small home all at once. Heated polished concrete typically runs $11 to $25 per square foot installed. Electric systems sit on the lower end. Hydronic systems cost more because of the boiler and plumbing involved. New construction is the cheapest time to add this. If you're pouring a fresh slab for a small footprint build, adding the heating elements costs far less than retrofitting later. Retrofitting an existing floor costs more. You're dealing with floor removal, height changes, and limited access. If you're building new, this is the moment to plan it in. This is trending hard right now. More small footprint and off-grid builders are choosing heated polished concrete because it solves two problems at once: flooring and heating in a single layer. Search interest in heated concrete floors has climbed steadily over the past couple years. Builders are moving away from separate flooring and HVAC systems toward combined solutions like this one. Here's a health benefit most people don't think about. Forced air heating circulates dust, dander, and allergens through your vents every time it kicks on. Radiant floors don't do that. Since there's no fan and no ductwork, there's nothing pushing allergens around your living space. For anyone with allergies, asthma, or just sensitive lungs, that's a real difference. On the eco side, radiant systems pair naturally with heat pumps and solar thermal setups. You're not wasting energy heating empty duct space. You're heating the floor you're standing on. Radiant heat runs 25 to 30% more efficient than forced air heating. Less energy wasted means lower bills and a smaller footprint, which fits right into off-grid living. As for climate, this works well almost anywhere. Cold climates see the biggest payoff since the floor becomes your main heat source through winter. Even in warmer climates, heated concrete still earns its keep during cold snaps or shoulder seasons, and the same slab stays naturally cool underfoot during summer without the system running. Concrete's high thermal mass means it holds heat and cold well. That works in your favor no matter what climate you're building in, as long as the system is sized right. If you're in a flood-prone area, adding a floor drain into a properly sloped slab is a smart move. It gives water somewhere to go instead of pooling against your walls. This pairs well with radiant heating since you're already working with the slab directly. Planning the drain and the heating system together at the same time keeps your build simple. Polished concrete isn't stuck looking gray and industrial. Acid stains create marbled earth tone patterns. Integral color gets mixed into the concrete itself before it's poured, so the color runs all the way through. Dyes go on after the concrete cures and offer even more color range, from deep charcoal to warm amber tones. Any of these options can match your small home's overall design. Now, here's a design feature worth knowing about. Some builders press dried flowers, leaves, or river pebbles directly onto the concrete, then pour a clear acrylic or epoxy topcoat over everything. The result looks like the objects are frozen in glass. It's become a popular trend in Japan and is showing up more in small home and off-grid builds around the world. This works beautifully over polished concrete and still allows radiant heat to pass through, so you get a showpiece floor and warmth from below at the same time. Maintenance on polished concrete is low. Resealing every 2 to 3 years keeps the surface protected and glossy. Outside of that, a simple sweep and mop is usually all it needs. If you added an acrylic or epoxy top coat, maintenance is even easier. The surface resists stains, scratches, and moisture, so it holds up well in daily small home living. Now let's talk about leaks. Hydronic systems carry water through tubing, and if a leak goes undetected, it can lead to mold or rot in the slab over time. Electric systems carry far less risk here since there's no water running through the floor at all. That's worth factoring in if you're weighing which system fits your build. Modern hydronic setups often include leak detection sensors and automatic shutoff valves. It's an easy add-on that protects your investment and catches problems early. As for what floor types work over radiant heat, tile and polished concrete conduct heat the best. Engineered hardwood and luxury vinyl plank work too, as long as they're rated for radiant use. Thick carpet is the one to avoid. It blocks too much heat from reaching the room, which makes your system work harder for less warmth. Radiant heating elements last 25 to 50 years, depending on the system. That's a lifespan that can outlast most other home upgrades you'll ever make. The one part that needs replacing sooner is the boiler on hydronic systems, usually every 10 to 20 years. Electric systems skip that concern entirely, since there's no boiler involved. This is where small footprint and off-grid living is heading, combining heating and flooring into one efficient layer, powered by solar or a heat pump, cuts down on cost and complexity. It's not just practical either. Homes with radiant heating tend to sell faster and at a premium compared to homes without it, which matters if resale is ever part of your plan. Whether you go simple with plain polished concrete or add color, dye, or a full acrylic pour design, radiant floor heating turns your floor into the hardest working part of your home. If this helped you picture what's possible for your build, the planners linked in the description can help you map out the rest of your project step by step. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We appreciate the support.